Oh, I almost forgot. I told you that I would take you downstairs to show you the underside of the deck. And as long as we're downstairs, let's start with the boiler room. This is an 850,000 BTU boiler. It's a little more than is needed for the deck, but we also have a 5,000 square foot driveway that's heated in the more traditional method with 3/4 inch PEX tubing traversing back and forth across every square foot of the driveway. These two pumps provide the glycol flow. The driveway is divided into two zones, the north half and the south half. This third pump was added to accommodate the deck. So this one zone does the entire deck. One line, of course, is supply, and the other one is the return. So hot glycol goes out the supply line, and a little less hot glycol, cooled glycol, comes back on the return line. And the idea is that it gives up a lot of its heat to the deck, and thereby melting the snow. So we have the again, supply and return. We transition from copper to PEX. This is 1.5 inch PEX tubing. It penetrates the building right here, and I'm going to just look at through the window, and we can see where it comes outside. Now I'm going to go take a walk and show you more of the underside. I'll be back in a second. Okay, here we are outside underneath the deck. You can see main lines traversing across the joists, wrapped in commercial grade insulation. Again, you want to minimize the heat loss until the glycol actually gets inside of the Therma panels. If I look straight up, the white you see is 3/4 inch thick, like styrofoam. I know styrofoam is a brand name, but we all know what that is, and that's basically what's covering the underside of the Therma panel. The black that you see in between the white, that's the underside of the Therma panel. So most of the panel we cannot see here. Because we use composite decking, 1 inch composite decking, that requires joist spacing no greater than 16 inches. Here we have joist spacing of 24 inches. So what we did in order to support the composite decking adequately and also provide support to the Therma panels is we used 2x6s from the old deck that was deconstructed to accommodate the new deck to create an interim joist, you might say, that we put right in between the actual joist holding up the deck. So we basically have 12 inch on center spacing here. So the deck has plenty of support, and the Therma panels also have plenty of support. So as we walk toward the other end of the house, again we see the main lines wrapped in commercial grade insulation. Pardon me, tripped on a twig. There are a half a dozen sub-zones, I'll call them. This is one return manifold for one zone. Here's another return manifold for another zone. And as we keep walking toward the other end of the house, we come to, remember I mentioned that we have 3 levels of deck. We're looking at the underside of the top deck, the main deck. This is the lower deck, And then right here is the middle deck. Remember I mentioned that it wraps around the hot tub, and there's the hot tub. So there's another return manifold. There's a supply manifold. There's another supply manifold. Again, there's 6 of these total. So there's really, I'm not concerned about the all this being exposed and visible, because this is an area the only time anyone is down here is, to mow the lawn. It's just not a place where you would want to spend a lot of time. So I really don't care too much what it looks like. Really, it's what's going on the top side of the deck is what counts. And as I've already shown you, the key here is that there is no snow. I don't have to shovel snow off of the deck any longer. As long as we are at this end of the house, I'm going to duck down and walk underneath this deck, come out the other side, and show you that 6-inch white PVC pipe that you see spewing basically water vapor more than anything. That's the exhaust for that big 850,000 BTU boiler that I showed you. You can also see closer to the building the intake, kind of tucked in right above the elbow where the exhaust pipe is. So again, 1,500 square feet of deck. The whole thing has therma panels, and so I don't have to shovel any snow, and the deck never has any snow on it. Very happy with this project, no regrets whatsoever. And again, I cannot say enough good about Therma-HEXX Corporation. I highly recommend them if you have any desire to do something like this at all. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a great 2023.